All right, so you're here because you're looking for the best beginner upper body workout in 2026. Well, I have news for you. There probably isn't one. There might not be a best workout for every person. And in fact, I'd bet money there isn't, because every person has different structure, different builds, different preferences. But I do want to help put you on the right track to get you to design a program that works for you and understand how to actually build a good program for growing muscle in 2026. So if you guys are new, drop a like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So the first thing you guys have to understand, and this is the singular biggest piece of the puzzle that people leave out, that coaches leave out, that trainers leave out all the time, and that's understanding joint actions. This is going to be the absolute framework of any good training split, and I'll tell you why. Understanding joint actions is what allows you to make a program that targets your whole body effectively. So this is the way we avoid complete redundancy, doing movements that are duplicates of previous movements that are not effective, leaving muscles on the back burner for no reason. If you've been training back for a long time and you don't have the proper row in place, maybe you're not even training your rear delts at all. And then you go in the mirror and you go, wait a minute, why are my rear delts so small? Well, maybe you're not training them. So little things like that will affect how you actually design a program. So the first thing I'll tell you is understand joint actions. What does that mean? Well, if you're new watching this, how do I know what a joint action is? Well, there's a very simple way to do this. Look up function of the chest, function of the bicep, function of the tricep, and you'll simply be able to understand how this process works, and it'll start to get easier for you over time. So something very simple. Take a chest press, adduction of the upper arm. You're taking this upper arm bone, this bone right here, the humerus, you're taking it and you're pulling it or adducting it across the body. That's a very simple explanation of how the chest works. And you could do this for a whole bunch of muscles. And then you go, wait a minute, okay, I'm looking at my elbow. Okay, well, if I flex my elbow, that's gonna be my bicep. And if I extend my elbow, that's gonna be my tricep. That is such a simple way to design a program, because now we understand how the body works. So once you have an understanding of this, or if you want to be lazy and let me explain it all to you, I can do that as well. So what's the first step of a good upper body day? Well, the first thing we're gonna need, as I mentioned, is a chest press. You want to do some kind of horizontal adduction of the upper arm. So that's taking the upper arm bone and just moving it across the body. That is what the pec is doing here. And if you think about where the pec actually connects, it starts here, okay, and it connects to your sternum. So you start here, and these are all the different fibers of the chest, and you will train pretty much all of them very well with any kind of mid or flat movement. So any kind of fly or mid press will train the entire chest very effectively. So when designing your chest movement, whatever that might be, you're going to want to pick a fly that's comfortable or a press that's comfortable, and ideally you pick one that is more difficult in the stretch. So you pick some kind of a press or fly where it starts off a little tough and you have to fight through it, and as you get closer to lockout, it gets easier, because that is where the chest actually loses leverage. Leverage is essentially how much the muscle is able to produce force. So if you're talking about where the chest has leverage, well, if I'm doing a press, okay, and I'm all the way up here, this part of the press is going to be largely tricep and front delt, whereas if I'm back here, this is going to be largely chest. So just thinking about where the muscle actually has leverage, where is the muscle responsible for producing force in the movement, is going to be a really, really big deal. So we have a chest press, that's a nice staple. Chest is done. You could throw in a neutral grip press if you want, or you could throw in something to really work the upper fibers of the chest by focusing on flexing the shoulder, which is the other responsibility of the upper chest, which is shoulder flexion. We could do something like that in addition, but to keep it really simple and to make this more beginner friendly, just understand that the role of the chest is to me to take the arm and bring it across the body. Okay, chest is done. Next thing we're gonna do for the lats is a wide grip lat pull down. This could be either with the free bar or a machine where you're coming out wide and you're just pulling the arm into the side of the body. And essentially what you're doing here is you're adducting the shoulder. So you're taking the shoulder, you're taking this right here, right? And as you pull out, okay, you pull in, you're taking the shoulder and you're adducting it, you're pulling it into the side of the body. That covers almost the entire lats. So it doesn't matter if we're doing a lat biased row or some kind of different pull down, as long as you have a nice neutral spine, you focus on pulling from the side and pulling into the side of the body, that covers your lats. Your lats are set. Next thing you have to do is a wide grip upper back row. You want some way to train the rest of your back. So your lats are already done. They're already taken care of. Now we have to train the rest of the back. How do we do that? Well, something where we have a chest support, where we're being supported, because that's pretty important, right? You want to make sure that you have some kind of counterbalance, that as you're pulling, you're not just standing there in space trying to bent over row or something, especially for a beginner. That's not going to be a strong suit for them. I would say something like a T-bar row or some kind of machine row where you're focused on, you're flared wide and you're focused on just pulling the shoulder blades together, or retracting the scapula and extending the shoulder. So taking the shoulder here and just pulling this way, you're extending the shoulder back. This kind of a movement is going to be incredibly important for the upper back. And this pretty much covers the entire back, really. I mean, we have two movements. We have that wide grip lat pull down, and we have the wide grip upper back row, and the entire back here is covered. So just focus on those two things, scapular retraction and shoulder extension, because if you think about it, rear delts are responsible for shoulder extension, so those are covered. And then the scapula, the actual retraction of the scapula, almost think about it like you're trying to pinch a coin between your shoulder blades. It's a tough thing to do at first. It's a skill that a lot of people don't have done, and this is something that I even have difficulty with at times. It's a difficult skill to learn. How do I actually retract my scapula? How do I pull my blades together? But it is something you really do want to focus on getting better at over time. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the lateral raise, of course, for the side delts. So you have your side delts here. This is a muscle that, well, doesn't really get trained amazingly through many other movements. The only movement that does train the side delts indirectly is going to be a front delt press, which you always could do, but you will be getting some indirect front delt work from the lateral raise and from the chest press. So we're not going to make that a fixture right now in this design for an upper body workout, but the next thing you want to do is some kind of lateral raise, and what that is just abduction of the arm. So again, remember what we're talking about, right? We're talking about the chest. Okay, we're adducting, we're pulling across the body. If we are to abduct or pull out, think about what we're doing. This is all delt, this is all shoulder. Now the angle in which you pull out from, so if you pull all the way from out here, you're gonna get a little bit more rear delt because you're pulling from all the way out here, you're getting a little bit shoulder extension, rear delt's getting involved. If you are to do some kind of a front-ish raise like this, where you come here and you go more across your body, that'll get more front delt, upper chest. If we really want to isolate the side delts, which is what a lot of people do, they want a wide frame, they want to isolate the side delts, a great thing to do is to go in the scapular plane. So you're not going to go here, you're not going to go 90 degrees or whatever, you're not going to go 0 degrees, you're going to go about 30 degrees. 30 degrees to the side, and that's going to cover most of your bases. So that is the simplest way to train the side delts. Some kind of lateral raise, you use a dumbbell, you use a cable, whatever it is, it's a very easy exercise to do, but focus on getting good at it. Focus on developing the skill. Don't just go and swing away. Focus on actually taking the side delt and moving it through the proper range of motion. Now with dumbbells, it'll be really tough up here and it'll be easier down here. That's fine, but if you use a cable and set the cable up around hip height, you'll notice that you're able to actually have a more even resistance profile, because it will start hard, and as the side delt gets weaker, the exercise gets easier, which is really nice. So that's something to think about if you are designing a lateral raise. Now the next thing, the last part of designing this upper body day, is just the elbow flexors. So we have the elbow flexor, which is the bicep here. Obviously you have, the wrist here, the wrist flexion here in the forearm, and you also have the brachialis, which is this muscle right here on the side. But any kind of wrist flexion is going to be, or elbow flexion is going to be a very basic way to train the biceps, and pretty much the only way to train the biceps properly. So any kind of curl variation is going to be important. And then we have elbow extension, which is the tricep. And again, same thing, just extending the elbow. So any kind of push down or extension will hit all three heads of the tricep very nicely. And that's such a simple way to train the entire upper body. So just throw in a curl, throw in a push down variation. Now we have the skeleton. What do we do in terms of reps and sets? Well, I personally think for beginners, 2 to 3 sets of 7 to 9 reps on all of these exercises will be a very, very nice happy medium. I don't think you need to rock the boat on that yet. Obviously, if you are a more advanced trainee, there is some context involved where you could go do a set of 5 reps for some reason, or do a set of 12 for a certain reason. But I think for most people, staying at no less than 7 reps if you are starting out as a beginner is a great way to teach yourself to train with intensity, but also not go excessively low into excessively low rep ranges. So you'll definitely want to go 7 to 9, 2 to 3 sets, and try to take every set to failure if you can. Again, you're a beginner. The fatigue cost of you starting out, you being someone with 6 months in, not huge. I think it's more important for beginners to learn how to train to failure, which is exactly what you should be doing here. So with that, I hope you guys found this useful. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Coaching link is down below in the description, and I'll see you guys later.